Welcome again, everybody, to the DMEZURES Podcast, where the music and the measures are drastic, meaning the bars are far-reaching with long-lasting effect. As usual, this show is all about the power of music, musicians' influence, and how those intersect with social responsibility. Again, at its core, it is a conversation about the importance of music and its creators. I am your host, Ryan Harris, aka King Midas, and I have spent the last 20 years in the music business working behind the scenes to help thousands of creators effectively share their art with the world. It is again my sincere pleasure to highlight up-and-coming artists and producers and discuss their views on some of today's most controversial topics. Now, before we get started, I want to introduce a young man that we're going to be talking to today by the name of Jai Buchanan. Jay is a up-and-coming artist from Huntsville, Alabama. Trap&B artist Jai Buchanan. How you doing today, baby?
I'm doing well. How you doing, man? Can y'all see me?
Yeah, man. Yeah, you coming in HD. We can see you. Looking flashy, looking swaggy as usual.
Yes, of course. How you feeling today, man?
Man, I'm good. It's a Sunday, you know what I'm saying? It's beautiful outside, you know, and I got music on my mind, you know what I'm saying? It's
absolutely, as it should be.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So listen, man, like I said here, the DMEZURES Podcast, we're all about music's conscientious conversation. You know what I'm saying? You are a talented new musician coming up. You know what I'm saying? You've got a couple singles floating around right now. You've been doing some press. You've been lighting up the stages across the South. Before we get really into today's topic, tell us a little bit about yourself. What is your journey with music? What opened you up? What got you started in saying that, hey, listen, this is something I really want to do with myself and my career?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, for me, it was mostly, music has always been very therapeutic for me. So when I was going through different circumstances and different situations through life, through high school, middle school, for me, making a beat, picking up a instrument on a track or writing for somebody else was always like a way of escaping my reality, if you will.
Right.
A lot of times I know a lot of people can relate. They can feel like an outcast during times because, certain people don't accept them in their friend groups, or they can't seem to find that niche that is accepting them from who they are. And I ran into that multiple times, but music was always something that was there, regardless of where I was in life at the time.
Gotcha.
So, you can create different works of art based on your life experiences. And during certain experiences, when you're making the music, you can go back and listen to it and be like, damn, I remember where I was in life at that point. Yeah. And that's the power of music. It's a nostalgic way of getting people, feeling emotions, feeling some type of feelings. And I'd say it's like one of the last forms of magic because, kind of like movie magic. There's music magic,
Most definitely. That's funny that you say that because, that's one of the things that we talk about here is that music is really magic and musicians are magicians. You know what I'm saying? With that influence and that the way that you can, pull on people's heartstrings, that's definitely a superpower. What would you say when it comes to music is really your superpower? Is it, musicianship? Is it vocals? Is it writing? What would you say is your power?
I guess my power is my story. Because my story allows other people to get a peek into my life and be like, why should I listen to this dude,
Right.
And when you listen to the songs, then you're like, oh, okay, maybe he has had some experience. Wait, maybe I went through that last week. You know what I'm saying? It's like people can connect to it. And when they connect to it, that's when you can start affecting people. Right. Because then they're like, they can relate to it in their own life,
Absolutely. Yeah, man, it's definitely all about connection, particularly now with social media. And, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. We've never been so connected as we are in today's society and with technology. You know what I'm saying? You got Absolutely. All these social media platforms. You've got, high speed internet connections. You could talk right now to somebody in Japan as if they were right in front of you in your face. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So connectivity and conversation and being able to touch people globally is a new phenomenon, definitely. With that said, what would you say is the most important part of being a new musician right now? Is it for you particularly, is it about just expressing yourself, or do you feel like there's a higher calling to people who have the ability to do music? And higher calling could mean anything. I'm just throwing that term out there. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I feel like it's best to, like you said, really express yourself. For me, that was always what I did. I just expressed myself through my music, and then people came and gravitated towards it.
Right.
I feel like when certain artists maybe force a sound, or they try to force something that's not really them, it's like I don't know. Nowadays, authenticity is everything. Like even, Cardi B is a good example. Like her whole career is built around her persona, so it's like she's being herself and people are liking that. Yeah. If you were trying to force something that wasn't you, then people can just read through the inauthenticity, and it's not it.
It doesn't last long at all. It doesn't
last, because it's not real.
Absolutely. So authenticity, it's interesting that you bring up authenticity because I've heard it said, and you can really kind of see it with the way productions are now. Authenticity is kind of the focal point that's more the focal point than so much as, the actual production, like, and the quality of production. Not that things are bad, but, it seems to me that people are more so interested in seeing something real than seeing something that looks good, so to speak. I mean, talk about that a little bit. What do you do to make sure that you're always authentic and to make sure that you don't fall into the trap of following a trend or following what it is that you think people are rushing to?
Yeah, I really like that question. So for me, it's like you said, always expressing yourself through your music naturally, organically. That's always going to produce those type of results. It's going to give off your sound is just naturally is going to be like, okay, that's him, or that's her, or what, that's what they're doing. That's the real them. But sometimes there are trends, especially like in rap music right now, there's trend going, where you hear heavy 808s in almost every track, and you hear them claps and you hear that hi-hat, you know what I'm saying? It is dope. To me, I think it's dope. Some people think it's repetitive. They think it's redundant. They're tired of it. Yeah. But I will say, you jump on the trend. You kind of like jump on the train but still doing yourself, because it's a style that's going on right now that you can utilize yourself is how I see it. Gotcha. In order to reach, a wider range of people who are tuned into that trend right now, Gotcha. And once you get the people, then the music that you've already created in the past gets exposed. The music that you're going to make in the future gets exposed, present. And it just opens up the door for a realm that you've created yourself, a creative realm. It allows people in. Right. And then you're able to do things kind of like Bruno Mars. He's got a 24 karat gold. Like he's doing records that are very traditionally I don't even know what's the word. Kind of like classic, I guess. He makes classic records, and it was kind of unheard of for a minute when it came to Black artists, particularly. Like we were like, oh, you guys better do your rap music and your R&B. Right. That's all you got. You know what I'm saying? But now we're venturing into country music. Now we're venturing into pop. Like we do it all. So it's like it's just the perception of the public. Yeah. That you're trying to, you kind of have to work with, so you don't get typecasted, if you will, with your music.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I mean, you talked about Bruno, and I even think about like people like, Kanye West. These are people who aren't scared to do things that are outside the box. Facts. But I still think that even with those two artists, they jump on the trend every now and then, but they're also trailblazers. I think what I'm hearing you say is that you can get on the trend, but still make the trend your own. Like kind of like if people are rocking a new outfit, like you can still rock it your own kind of way. It ain't. Yeah, exactly. Copying somebody.
Yeah, and particularly for new artists, like Ye and Bruno have been around for a minute now. They've kind of established their names, their household names, basically. Yeah. Newer artists they have it's a competition almost. It's like they have to not fighting for the spotlight, but it's I guess garnishing the attention to your realm, if you will. That's what I like to call it. It's just your realm, because that's what makes each artist unique. Because you can find another Jai Buchanan, or you can find a Nicki Minaj out here. You can find a Meg out here. There's plenty artists that are similar to the popular artists now, but what will make them different, period, is their story. Because not every human being has the same story. We don't have the same fingerprint, you know?
Right. Absolutely. So, when we're talking about trends and talking about production and, authenticity, what record would you say is, because like I actually have a couple records. I'll say 3 records. I got 3 records that I say really, really put me in the mind frame that I'm in as far as music production. What would you say that is for you? What records would you say evoke authenticity and really, really say, man, this makes me want to do this?
So I actually have some records that are unreleased that, I'm really excited about. Okay. That kind of have the vibe that I always try to reach out to, because it's like something that is a part of me, I guess you will. Like upbeat tempo type tracks. Like I have one called Mars and Back. I don't know if you've heard that record. That's one of my favorite records right now that I have.
I'll have to check it
basically, I'm just talking about, we went to Mars and Back, telling the girl, regardless of what we've been through, look how much I put in, look at all the effort I put in, into the relationship. But it's also a fun, feel good record. Like when you hear the track, I gotta let you hear this thing, man. Like, I can't believe you ever heard
definitely.
that one. But
you have to shoot it
when you hear the track, it's like, it's just, it's a mellow kind of vibe, but it's also got the snares and the beats picking up a little bit, and it's a good vibe. Like, and I know Atlanta, especially right now, like that's what it's all about. We're kind of getting tired. We're trying to get out. I feel like, we're getting out of this gang shoot 'em up era.
You think
unfortunately,
so?
I feel so, because I actually recently went to not a podcast, but a panel discussion, and there were some iconic people there, including Hit Boy and Jazzy Faye. Shout out to them. Yeah. And a lot of the conversation was centered around the state of music right now. Right. And one of the things that stood out to me was Jazzy Faye was just like, somebody asked him, was like, what do you think we need right now in music? And he said, love. Right. And it hit me different, because I was like, damn, like he's right. Because a lot of the songs that we hear, and he's not talking about, nothing corny, not like, I need to caress my woman, and just more like, literally love. Like, I love my brother, I love my sister. Like, we're gonna turn up tonight, we're gonna have a bottle, or we're gonna look at my whip, say something other than I want to kill this. Right. What's this podcast rated?
No, you good, man. This is over 18. This is everybody.
Okay. No. Sure. But we need less of that, man. Like, I get it. That I don't know if that's a part of the trend. I feel like there's really just kind of like a beat progression that's kind of the trend right now. But I guess what people are writing matters just as much. So, man,
it's like, that's like you hitting it right on the head. Again, it's all about influence, right? And so when you got that pen and that pad, or you get in the booth, you know what I'm saying? Or you got those magic fingers and you can touch those keys and play those chords, like, that's power, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think everybody recognizes that. I think a lot of times cats, and correct me if I'm wrong, you know what I'm saying, but particularly cats nowadays, I think, are really just on the money train, right? You see, it's fast money. I could put this hit together talking about my trauma and my pain. I'm gonna put it out and I'm gonna get paid, you know what I'm saying? But not realizing, okay, you got a platform talking to millions of people. What are the consequences of that? What are the consequences of my art? Talk about that for a little bit. Like, tell me, what is your stance on that? How do you feel, do you feel artists have a social responsibility with their platforms and with their art?
I feel like when artists like kind of release their music, or they drop it, they have fans gravitate to it based on what they're talking about, their song versus the type of music it is, all of that. And I don't think they have That's a hard question. Or like a social responsibility. That's kind of like telling, an artist they need to cover up more because there's young daughters watching them. Like,
right.
I don't think you should stop being who you are at all. If there's a chick who likes wearing, she likes wearing revealing clothes or something, and that's a part of her, who she is, like, and she wants to do that. Why should I stand in the way of that?
Right.
That's what is the beautiful part about music and art as a whole is it's subjective and it's unique per person. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you might not like that she's on the dress half naked, but or on the stage half naked, but that's her. If you want to see something more conservative, go in this realm. Go over here to maybe like Adele or something. I don't know, like just
yeah.
I don't know. I don't feel like you should try to change something that's organic and natural by itself and is being true to itself.
I feel you. I feel you on that. And I think that, again, going back to authenticity, if there is a true and you even said this again at the beginning, all this is layering together. You mentioned at the beginning of our conversation that music was an outlet for you. It was a way to release some of the stresses of life. We talked about being authentic and sharing those pain points, and then people who have experienced similar things, gravitating to that music because they're relating to it. Mm-hmm. But then with that said, I think that there's always a shift, right? There becomes a shift where, all right, now I have the ear of these millions of people or these thousands of people or whatever your fan base is or whatever your audience is. And, again, I guess it's, here we're at DMEZURES, we're all about opinions. It's all about, conversation. And I'm hearing what you're saying, and that's really what a lot of people say, which is art is art. Artists don't have a social responsibility. But when you think about it, it's like, all right, if 1 million people are willing to jump off a bridge because I said it's a good idea to do it, and just because I was thinking about jumping off a bridge, am I responsible for that, or are they responsible for it?
Everyone still got their own brain.
Yeah, true.
You still got your own body. Right. And you ingest what you want to ingest. You didn't have to listen to me. You didn't have to listen to her.
Right. I'm
going to be real. I mean, I hate to put it so blunt, but I mean, it is what it is. Like, it's at the end of the day, you still have a certain responsibility of your own temple, your own body. Right. And when you digest, music is digestible. Right. And you can swallow it every day. You wake up, put in your music, you work out, you put in the music, you drive and you listen to music. And it's subconsciously always doing something to you. So, I mean, if somebody said jump off the bridge and you head over to Golden Bridge right now, I mean, that's you're doing that. That's not me.
I hear you. Jay said I didn't make y'all smoke that dope. I'm not making you smoke it.
Jai Buchanan does not authorize or endorse any of that.
Right.
Jai Buchanan is all about love and a good time.
Yeah.
So when you listen to my music, we're gonna be popping bottles. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be in the club. We're gonna have a great time. Like, that's what I really want to push. I remember there was an era when Ray Shrimmer was killing it, hit after hit after hit. It's a duo from Atlanta.
Yep.
And
that's Mike Will's group, right?
Mike Will's group. And it was just, when I think back to that time period, it was at like 2015, I guess, like 2014, 15. It was just a fun time. Like, I remember, I was younger. I do think that has an effect on kind of our perception of our experiences in life. But I don't know. I feel like that can be created, again, like, especially this new generation. There's some dope artists out there right now. I'm not going to lie. But I still feel like there's, when I'm having conversations with other artists, or I'm having conversations with just people who or fans of music in general, they just say it's lacking something. It's missing something. And I want to bring that missing element back to music. You know what I'm saying? Less about the how lucrative it is, and more about, spreading the vibes, the feelings, the emotions. Because when you go to my concert, I want you to leave and a year or 2, 3 years later be like, damn, I'm so glad I went to that concert because I had a great time. And I remember my experience as a positive one from hearing his music. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. And that's what I felt like Ray Shremmerd was definitely doing for a long time. Like we would be able to turn up to the songs, and it wasn't corny. It was just the wave, you know, and the way they did it wasn't about, you know, gang stuff, you know.
Right.
So I'm 100% with that. That's kind of like the angle I'm going for.
I hear you. And it sounds like you made a conscious decision to transmit that a certain kind of vibe, a feel good vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it's
not
me.
Corny, but you want people to feel good when they experience you, right?
Facts. Yeah, that's me.
That's real. That's real, and that's definitely what I think is missing. And it's definitely not what's out there right now. You know what I'm saying? Without naming no names, but
okay, let's not do that. You're gonna get in trouble, man.
Yeah, man.
Pull this video up and be like, "Oh, see, there he is. I got it now." Screenshot that.
Let's shift gears real quick. This is a little second segment of our podcast, and it's what we call this a game we play called What You Think About. So the way it works is I start off with saying, yo, Jay, what you think about? And I'm gonna throw out a name or a topic, and I'm gonna give you a couple minutes to just give me your thoughts on that particular person, place, or thing. Okay,
let's do it. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So first one is, Jay, what you think about Kanye West?
Oof. Kanye West. Been a fan since I was, I don't know how old, coming out the womb. I think he is I definitely do believe he is a creative genius. I don't think anyone can take that title away from him. Unfortunately, I feel like, you know, as times have progressed, the lives of artists has become overwhelmingly more interesting than their own music, than the things they got going on, honestly, because people are nosy.
Yeah. And social media makes it easy to be nosy.
Social media makes it very easy. In 1.2 seconds, you can know so much about a person. Right. And that's the truth. Like, just from their social media profile, what they're posting and all of that. And you can also still kind of control the narrative. But man, Kanye West. Like, that's a tough one because I'm really a big fan of Kanye West.
I think he's left a couple people torn. Help. Yeah, I think we're all a little bit torn because we love him, but then it's kind of like, bruh.
Yeah, it's just because I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I just feel like he needs to have a support system around him.
Right.
And everyone needs a support system.
Absolutely. Support is definitely big. Okay, all right. So we ain't gonna take up all the time with that one. Let me give you one more. All right, so Jay, what you think about Nah, I'm not gonna give you that one.
No, come on, hit me, man. What you got?
Let me downshift here. Let me pull my notes up. I want to give you one that you can really speak on here. Hold on, let's see here. Okay, here we go. All right, so what you think about the current state of R&B?
The current state of R&B. I'm not actually mad at it. A lot of people are like, "Oh, R&B is dead," this, that, and the third. I've found a lot of really dope R&B artists. I'm not gonna lie, especially recently. Like, sometimes I'll just find myself on YouTube just listening to, you know, what's hot right now, and then I'll play like certain playlists and I'll just let it play, and I'll just be chilling, doing work or doing something else while I listen. And whenever I run into an artist that intrigues me, you know, I'll like add it to a separate little playlist, like my own little vibes playlist. And they're out here. There's a lot of really dope R&B artists out here. It's all about who's reaching. Sometimes you'll see certain artist on a pedestal, but that doesn't mean that that's the only thing available. You know, like there's like kind of in a video game, there's unlockable characters, and in this game, there's some main characters. There's the Jet Lis and stuff, but then you can also unlock, you know, there's underground artists and stuff who are making amazing works of art that if they were on the same pedestal would be as big as what some of the artists you see. Yeah. So you don't want to get caught up in the facade as an artist. You know, you want to just remain true to yourself, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to pop off for you, is just being yourself, because everyone, believe it or not, whether you're white, purple, or green, can relate to you in some type of way.
That's real.
Through some type of experience.
That's real. Cool, man. Well, listen, I just got one more question for you before I let you get up out of here. I ask everybody this. And actually, before I ask you, why don't you tell everybody what you have going on right now and what you have coming down the pipeline for 2022?
Absolutely. So right now, I currently have a single with Erica Banks called Oh No. The video has been shot and everything, you know. I can go ahead and say all this stuff. My manager has cleared it, so I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all know.
I'm about to say, we supposed to be talking about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I'm just really excited for what the future holds. You know, female rap is a big deal right now. And I don't even like calling it female rap, but it just helps people connect to it. I would rather just call it rap, because women are human beings. We don't go around saying male rap, but you know, that's neither here nor there. And it's like kind of like what you said, the trend, if you will, is what's going on right now. But it's really just I find it to be like woman empowerment, and I'm all about that, because you know I'm a mama's boy myself. I don't know. It's just something that was instilled into me, is how to treat a woman. So you know, the song is gonna be crazy. It's definitely got like the summer smash vibe to it. And afterwards, I want people to expect tons more music to come. So it's not going to be a one hit and I'm out. Like, all right, I got my check. See y'all later. Like, you know,
yeah,
it's my thing. You know, this is what I do. So I expect a lot more production. Like I said, Mars and Back is another record that I'm excited about. I got one called Presto. That's dope. I got just so many records that I want people to hear and turn up to, honestly.
What's your IG? Where can people check more of you out and connect with you?
Absolutely. You can find me on all social media platforms at PBandJai. That's PBandJai. And on TikTok, actually, now you can find me. I'm _Jai Buchanan.
Okay, we'll have that flash across the screen. Cool, man. So listen, let me hit you with this question. With all that you have coming on or coming down the pipeline for 2022, how is what you're doing going to change the world?
Well, for me, I always felt like there was a void in the industry for particularly artists like me. You know, I'm not from the hood. I'm still Black, though. You know what I'm saying? And I have Black experiences. And most of the time, that revolves around my mental health. For a long time, you know, I feel like, especially in the Black community, we don't like to talk about that. We're, I'll say, like, as Black people, we kind of prideful at times. Like, we don't want to admit to certain things that are really affecting us, because we always have this mentality of staying strong regardless of what we're going through. But it's okay, especially now more so than ever. It's being in discussions to talk about what you're going through and how certain things have been traumatic on you. And I feel like there's people out there who their voices aren't being heard like this. It's very one-dimensional in the game, if you will. Like you're either a street rapper or you're this pop person. But it's like, that's not, you can't generalize human beings like that. Like you can't put people into boxes because we're just so different.
Yeah.
So for me, my story and what I'm bringing to the table isn't your traditional story when it comes to rap and R&B and this type of music, but it's similar to people like Drake or even Ye. He had a hard time in his experiences, even through his documentary I watched, And I could look at it and be like, dang, like he went through kind of what I went through in a different circumstance. He was in Chi-Town, you know, but it was still similar experiences, because I'm like, dang, I get it now. You know, I know what rejected feels like. I actually have a song called Rejection. You know, I get what it feels like to feel like, damn, like, am I ever going to make it somewhere? Or just all of those things is how you relate to people. And when you go through those experiences, it's only going to make it crazier later on, because people are going to really draw to it.
Absolutely. Well, bro, I appreciate it. Listen, I want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to sit with you, man. You've got an amazing, bright future ahead. I look forward to seeing all your many successes. All the D-Measures fans, I hope this has been inspirational. If you like today's content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And put your comments below. Let us know what you think about Jay, about his music. Don't forget to follow him. Hit at the Instagram handle we're going to throw up there on the screen. And until next time, everybody just stay active, stay creative, and be positive. Peace and God bless.
Absolutely. Thank you.